In the headlines, residents flee as bandits kill 17 soldiers in fresh Kaduna attack. Federal High Court stops Obaseki, Edo State Independent Electoral Commission from conducting local government elections due to alleged infractions in state electoral law. And in business news, queues mount as deactivated subscribers storm telecom outlets to link SIM cards. On the foreign scene, EU targets Russian coal and ships in new sanctions as allegations of war crimes intensify. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for joining. Over now to the details. Terrorists have killed 17 soldiers in an attack at a military base in Polwire, Biriningwari local government area of Kaduna State. Reports say that 40 wounded soldiers were taken to the 44 Army Reference Hospital facility, including 17 of them confirmed to have been killed by the terrorists. During the attack, where the bloodthirsty terrorists in large number on motorcycles stormed and engaged the soldiers at the military base at Polwire village, it was learned that more than 20 other soldiers were injured. It was gathered that the AK-47 rifle-wielding bandits riding on motorcycles engaged the soldiers and battled them for more than 2 hours before the terrorists eventually subdued the soldiers and the terrorists. It was also learned that raised an armored personnel carrier after they had overwhelmed the troops. They were said to have made away with weapons belonging to the soldiers. Now, here is a timeline of attacks by bandits in Kaduna State within the year 2022.
Tuesday, April 5th, terrorists attacked Kaduna military base, killing 17 soldiers, 3 locals, while injuring 19 people. Sunday, April 3rd, bandits attacked Angwarmaji community at Jere town in Kagarko local government area while abducting 11. Bandits attacked communities in Kagarko local government of Kaduna, scores of Almajiris abducted. Thursday, March 31st, bandits attacked Sabo GRA on the outskirts of Kaduna metropolis, killing 3 residents, abducting 10 and injuring 6 others. Monday, March 28th, terrorists attacked Kaduna trains, killing 8 while abducting scores. Sunday, 27th March, bandits invaded Hayinkanwa village, Yakawada ward in Giwa local government area, killing 15 people. Saturday, March 26th, bandits attacked Kaduna International Airport, killing a security personnel. On Friday, March 25th, terrorists attacked 9 communities in Giwa local government council while killing 50 persons and burning several houses. Sunday, 20th March, terrorists attacked Aura local government area, killing 34 people. Thursday, March 17th, terrorists kidnapped about 46 locals in Ogunuduti of Kachia local government area of Kaduna State. Thursday, March 10th, terrorists attacked Fomigi Street in Angwangala Dima Gonengora, Chiku local government area of Kaduna State, killing 3 locals and abducting 2 women.
Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff has called on bandits and terrorists to drop their arms or face defeat. The Army Chief disclosed this during an operational tour of the Maimalari cantonment in Maiduguri. While inspecting the Army Park, he praised the troops for the successive operations against insurgents and recovering arms and ammunition in Sambisa Forest, Timbuktu Triangle, and other places. Yahaya said the Army will not relent until the war destabilizing the peace of the nation is won.
But the military and indeed other agencies are not deterred by some few setbacks we'll have intermittently, you will call them. But we are determined to get across them and move and defeat this enemy. And what we have seen here has spoken for itself in what we are doing. And even the area of surrenders we have, even yesterday we had some from the Zambisa, and we are having them every now and then. What we have recovered here speak for themselves in both equipment, arms and ammunition, medical, and whatever you can think about, and we are not relenting. Our call to all these terrorists and bandits and criminals is to know that the time is against them. And the earlier they toe the line of peace, the better. Otherwise, we will get them.
Still from Maiduguri, the Borno State Police Command has warned religious leaders to desist from public preaching. The Commissioner of Police gave the warning at a stakeholders meeting on the need to regulate Islamic religious preaching in Borno State. He said the decision to prohibit public preaching was informed by the state governor's revelation that state laws frown at sermons that incite violence and disunity among followers.
As we are an security pass, to every law, there is always a punishment. Whenever somebody goes contrary to the law, then it's supposed to be investigated and prosecuted and subsequently be punished for the offense he committed. And that task falls within our family, the police and the DSS. So, and that is why we are calling on you to please partner with us, to partner with the government, so that we can be able to extend this mission of the government to the general public who are mostly unaware of this.
On contravention of those rules or those procedures that earn you that license, that qualifies you to be given that license, can equally make you to have that license withdrawn by the stated authority as explained in this enabling law. So media has a very good and big role to play here.
Some telecommunications subscribers were left stranded on Tuesday after telecom companies barred their lines from making calls following a directive from the federal government. The federal government had on Monday directed telecom companies to enforce compliance with its National Identification Number Subscriber Identification Module policy by blocking outgoing calls on all unlinked lines after the deadline for the SIM-NIN verification expired on March 31. While giving the directive, the government revealed that 125 million SIMs had submitted their NINs for linkage. In a statement on Monday, it said that Alton members are committed to complying with the instructions and called on telecommunication subscribers who have not obtained and/or linked a NIN to their SIMs to do so at any of the designated centers on Tuesday. Many subscribers were unable to make calls on their lines. Check revealed that subscribers have started visiting telecom service centers in droves to link their NIN to their SIMs. The president of the National Association of Telecom Subscribers, Adiolu Ogumbanjo, said that people were rushing to the centers because of the commercial undertone of the ban. Some People's Democratic Party stakeholders led by former Senate President Senator Bukola Saraki have visited Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State. Saraki, while speaking with a journalist, said that the visit was to brief Governor Makinde on the plan for a consensus candidate among the presidential aspirants. Saraki disclosed that since the focus of the party was centered on providing a credible and people's-oriented government for Nigerians, all aspirants were ready to abide by the position of the party. For his part, Makinde promised to work for the success of the consensus arrangement, assuring that any confusion that arises will be addressed.
We ourselves as a party must be ready for government in 2023, and that part includes uniting ourselves and being focused that it is not about our individual interests, it's the interests of Nigeria that matters. We, of course, all have individual interests when to be president. When we decided in meetings that we're ready to subject ourselves to a consensus agreement. That consensus agreement is not just one for one part of the country, or that the North. No, it's a consensus agreement for the PDP as a party.
I promised my elder brothers, that we will work hand in hand, work together to ensure that this consensus arrangement is successful. So I've also said that internally we will ensure that people understand what we're trying to do, and where there's any item of doubt or confusion, we will put a mechanism in place where that will get addressed almost immediately as well.
In the meantime, the zoning committee of the opposition People's Democratic Party, contrary to the expectation of its southern members, has recommended an open race for the party's 2023 presidential ticket. The party's 37-person zoning committee, which took the decision at the Benue State Governor's Lodge, Asokoro, Abuja, on Tuesday, cited exigency of time for its recommendation. The committee based its recommendation on the high voter turnout in the north and the party's determination to return to power. According to a document, the committees stated that although zoning was affirmed in the party's constitution, exigencies of time made it to dump the arrangement. But the recommendation of the committee generated angry reactions from organizations such as the Igbo Socio-Cultural Group, the Ohanese Ndibo, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, and the Middle Belt Forum, with some of them saying that it will affect the chances of the PDP in the 2023 polls.
After months of uncertainty with regards to the zoning arrangement of the People's Democratic Party, Nigeria's leading opposition party, with intense interests, intense lobbying and horse trading and consultations, all geared towards the zoning arrangement of the party, the 37-member committee of the party, which is being chaired by the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, just rose from a closed-door session and, of course, told journalists that there was a unanimous decision, on a standpoint or on a position taken, which is going to be communicated to the National Executive Committee of the party.
By the grace of God, we have unanimously adopted a position that will be sent to the neck of our party that appointed us. So the good news for our teeming supporters of the PDP and Nigerians is that we have resolve, and every one of us, the 37 members, unanimously adopted the position we are going to present to NEC.
There is also an ongoing consultation among some top presidential contenders of northern extraction, led by the former Senate President Bukola Saraki, alongside Aminu Tambol, the governor of Sokoto State, and Bala Mohammed, Bauchi State governor. They've said severally they are also in touch with another leading contender, talking about the Wazirin Adamawa, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, to arrive at the consensus. So the situation within the PDP, that is the major opposition People's Democratic Party in Nigeria, is still cloudy. But then there are indications one of the key challenge that has remained an obstacle and an albatross of all the political parties in Nigeria, that is the zoning arrangement, might have been disposed by this committee led by the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom. From the Benue Governor's Lodge here in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News.
Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Tuesday stopped Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State and the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission from conducting local government elections in the state. Justice Taiwo, while granting the motion ex parte, added that he was of the view that the alleged infraction in the Edo State electoral law vis-a-vis the Electoral Act 2022, as canvassed by the plaintiffs, is worth looking at by the court. In the suit, the Edo State Commission is the third defendant, while the Independent National Electoral Commission, Attorney General of Edo State, Speaker, Edo House of Assembly, Clerk, Edo House of Assembly, People's Democratic Party, and Dr. Iyocha Ayu are the defendants. The applicants are challenging the validity of the Edo State electoral law, which allows for the holding of elections within 15 days from the date of the publication of notice for the conduct of the election. They are further contending that the state's law contradicts the Electoral Act 2022, which provides for at least 150 days before election. An Akwa Ibom State Magistrate Court presided over by Magistrate Ini Ifiok Isong has directed that the order remanding the accused person in the criminal defamation of the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, a fortnight ago be extended by another 14 days. The court had ordered that the accused, one Idonjiset Idiok, be remanded in the custody of the Ikot-Ekpene Correctional Center for a period not exceeding 14 days over allegation of defamatory Facebook post when the matter first came up last month. Idiok was said to have been remanded at the Correctional Center after publishing a defamatory piece against the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, on his Facebook page, Soundcraft Owo Oba. By the extension order, the accused is to remain in custody for another 2 weeks, pending when the Department of Public Prosecution in the State Ministry of Justice is expected to file charges in the appropriate court against the accused. You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up shortly. How prices of food scare buyers. Details and more shortly. Welcome back. You're watching Trust News Update. Here is a look at the top stories again. Terrorists have killed 17 soldiers in an attack at a military base in Polwaya, Biriningwari local government area of Kaduna State. Reports say that 40 wounded soldiers were taken to the 44 Army Reference Hospital facility, including 17 of them confirmed to have been killed by the terrorists. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Tuesday stopped Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State and the Edo State Independent Electoral Commission from conducting local government elections in the state. Now, medical researchers say that Nigeria needs $500 million annual investments to carry out research against infectious diseases. They made the observation during research colloquium on COVID-19 treatment in Nigeria, organized by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Health, the Nigeria Institute of Medical Research, and key stakeholders in Abuja. The objective of the colloquium by the Nigeria COVID-19 Research Coalition is to showcase high-quality research on COVID-19 conducted in Nigeria that is relevant both locally and globally. The meeting also is to identify gaps in the research landscape as regards COVID-19 and other health emergencies and chart a course for health research priorities in Nigeria.
If you look at the requirements and the proposition by the African Union for countries in Africa to actually proceed and make sure that they have 1% of their GDP as a contribution to R&D for national development. Our national GDP is trending at around 500 billion, between 450 and 500 billion currently. If you look at 1% of that, it's going to be giving you around 5 billion USD. As at present, Tech Fund that is holding the highest grant portfolio for the country in terms of research is trending around 20 million USD. So you can actually calculate the gap between 5 billion USD that is required for our national economic development in terms of R&D and 20 million that we have.
As Muslims stock up on the traditional food for the month of Ramadan, prices of foodstuff have skyrocketed in the market. Fatima Saliladen, who visited some markets within the Kaduna metropolis, has more details.
A check at the popular Baikindogo market in Kaduna reveals that prices of most staple fruits have gone up. Ibrahim Muhammad, a yam seller, says the hike in food price is not related to this year's Ramadan, but blames it on the insecurity which affects farmers across the country, especially the northern region.
Sashen madaka na ana kawo mana mota 20-15 We used to get supply from Madaka, but in recent times, the people in the area were displaced by insecurity. And if Madaka is not producing yam, there may be scarcity and skyrocketing of price in the market.
Some traders say food prices largely depend on how much they are able to purchase the commodities from producing companies. They claimed the prices usually go up in the month of Ramadan and called on the relevant agencies to ensure price control.
Speaking, everything has changed, honestly speaking, because before we are selling, we are buying food commodities from the company in the lower price, and then we are selling it at the end of the day at the lower price. But now everything is not like that. Now everything has changed now, because the company now they already increased the price of the food commodities. The another problem that we are facing in Nigeria, honestly speaking, we don't have price control.
As many continue to pay as much as double the normal price of food items, the chairman of grain sellers in Kaduna State explained that the price of grains has been controlled ahead of this year's Ramadan in order to cushion the suffering of the ordinary man.
We have reduced the price of grains to ease the hardship of people in the month of Ramadan. We sold a bag of guinea corn at 26 to 27,000 naira, but we have reduced to 24 or 25,000 naira. The bag of maize, which we sold at 24,000 naira, but we now sell at 22,000, and the bag of beans from 58,000 to 55,000.
It has become a norm for prices of commodities to rise during the month of Ramadan and other festive periods in the country, as buyers are left with no option than to make purchase. Fatima Salaladan, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, has denied allegations of the board imposing multiple fees on candidates preparing to take the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. Oloyede stated this while responding to questions from journalists on the level of preparation for the UTME mock slated for Saturday nationwide. He said he was a bit disappointed that the House of Representatives initiated a probe over an allegation that was baseless and lacking facts, noting that it was a calculated attempt to embrace the board and possibly derail it from its core mandate. While noting that the UTME mock was expected to take place this Saturday nationwide, Oloyede said that owing to the prevailing increase in diesel price, the board had allowed the CBT centers to slightly increase their charges to enable them to offer reliable services. The Senate has extended the implementation year of the 2021 Appropriation Act from 31st March to 31st May 2022. The extension was approved following the consideration of a bill to amend the 2021 Appropriation Act. The report.
The bill, sponsored by Senate leader Senator Yaya Abdullahi, was read on Tuesday for the first time, the second time and the third time after the suspension of Rule 78, subsection 1 of the Senate Standing Rule 2022 as amended. Leading the debate on the bill, Senator Abdullahi recalled that appropriation acts passed mid-year usually have their implementation extended to the following year. He explained that the extension of the budget period became imperative in view of the need to complete ongoing projects nearing completion.
In view of the critical importance of these key projects which are nearing completion, it is expedient to grant further extension of the expiration clause to avoid confounding the problem of abandoned projects, given that some of the projects were not provided for in the 2022 budget. Therefore, the need to extend the implementation year to 31st March 2022 is apparent. This is in order to avoid liabilities and unnecessary cost escalation of projects that have already gone through the necessary implementation processes. A bill for an act to amend the 2021 Appropriation Act
in order to extend the implementation year from 31st March to 31st May 2022 and for related matters 2022 third reading taken, and the bill is passed. Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. Our colleagues in the House of Representatives are doing the same. And time is of essence, and I will urge the executive arm of government to swiftly swing into action to ensure that we achieve 100% budget implementation like we did achieve in the 2020 Appropriation Act.
3 other bills scaled through second reading this Tuesday. These bills are to establish a National Industrial Technology Park, the Federal College of Agric, Ise-Orin, Ekiti State, and the Federal College of Agriculture, Ogoja, Cross River State. The bills, after consideration, were referred to the relevant committees. The committees have 4 weeks to report back to the Senate.
And away from Nigeria, the EU is proposing further sanctions against the Kremlin after allegations of Russian war crimes in Ukraine, with EU ambassadors meetings on Wednesday to decide what steps to take. European Commission head Ursula von der Leyen said that planned measures included an import ban on coal and a ban on Russian ships and road operators. The US is also planning more sanctions, while the UK Foreign Secretary Liz Truss is calling for a tough new wave of sanctions from G7 and NATO ministers. She said that her Japanese counterpart had agreed the international community had to increase pressure on Russia's Vladimir Putin and his war machine with further coordinated sanctions. EU officials had earlier indicated the focus will be on enforcing existing measures, but revelations of atrocities with hundreds of bodies of civilians found in towns abandoned by Russian troops have given added impetus for new measures. Now on the foreign scene, Liverpool will take a 2-goal lead into the Champions League quarter-final second leg at Anfield after an important victory over Benfica in Lisbon. Luis Diaz scored late on to put club's side in control of the encounter, but they could have been out of sight were it not for several fine saves from Benfica goalkeeper Odysseus Vlachodimos. Ibrahim Konate rose highest to head the visitors into the lead from a corner before Sadio Mane added a clinical second. However, Liverpool will have a healthy advantage when they welcome Benfica in the second leg next Wednesday. And that wraps up Trust News Update. You can connect with us via our social media platforms and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch us live. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thank you for watching.